Today is Thursday the 20th of May. I'm in Paris and yesterday I left the Spice Girls permanently.
Without me, they're nothing. I promise.
So where is Ginger Spice? Did Geri Halliwell jump or was she pushed?
There's trouble in Spice World this lunchtime. It's being claimed that Geri Halliwell, Ginger Spice, has left the group.
Is she planning to go solo?
It was the news that shocked the world and left millions of fans brokenhearted.
She's sort of letting the whole country down.
My favourite Spice Girl.
I don't know if she's gonna ever come back.
Geri Halliwell, the Watford-born performer known worldwide as Ginger Spice, left the Spice Girls in May 1998. In just 2 years, the group had reached a level of success in the music industry not seen since the Beatles 3 decades earlier. At the time of Halliwell's departure, they were at their commercial peak, silencing critics while performing their multi-million selling songs live on a sold-out world tour in support of their second album. It marked the culmination of 4 years of relentless work, during which the group ditched 2 managers, achieved the 2 best-selling albums by a female group of all time, released a feature film, and became the world's #1 act. For the group, this should have been the moment to demonstrate that their unity as 5 determined women was real, and that they could, unlike many before them, complete a demanding world tour without serious disruption. Here, we examine the reasons behind Geri's abrupt departure, the events that shaped her decision-making, and the memorabilia that offers the clearest insight into the group members' thoughts and emotions at the time. We trace the resignation step by step and examine the key factors that combined to create one of the most significant shocks in 1990s pop culture. By 1998, the Spice Girls had established themselves as the best-selling girl group in music history. With just 2 albums and 6 singles released in under 2 years, they entered the record books, achieved global dominance, and rewrote the rules of pop success. Many factors contributed to this rise, but central to it was their ability to balance anarchic energy with warmth and humor. A combination that won the devotion of millions of fans worldwide and elevated them to the status of national treasures in Britain. At the heart of their phenomenon was the music itself, carefully crafted pop songs that drew from multiple genres while effortlessly reflecting each member's personality. They represented something new and became the catalyst for a much-needed positive movement following the difficulties of the late 1980s and early 1990s. Audiences watched their ascent from ordinary young women with ambition to a globally dominant musical force and influential brand. An entire generation grew up under their influence, absorbing messages of respect, enjoyment, positivity, and, above all, self-belief. Their mantra, Girl Power, originated with 5 women, but quickly became a broader rallying cry for empowerment, resonating with the LGBT community and those affected by bullying or abuse. What was less understood at the time was that the group had a master plan. Their first 2 years in the spotlight had been broadly mapped out in advance. The albums Spice and Spice World, the feature film, and the culminating world tour were all part of a deliberate strategy. The aim was simple: capture the world, enjoy the experience, and achieve as much as possible within a 2-year window. While the plan did not account for an ending, by early 1998 there were no concrete plans for what would follow September of that year. Contracts were expiring, promotional commitments for the second album and its 4 singles were nearing completion, and the world tour was set to conclude with a major concert at London's Wembley Stadium. While Emma, Mel B, Mel C, and Victoria did not view September 1998 as the end of the Spice Girls, Geri's perspective was markedly different. In her 1999 memoir, If Only, she recalls first raising the possibility of stopping that January during a promotional trip to Australia.
The first sighting of the all-conquering Spice Girls in Melbourne, and the fans and most of Qantas's ground staff turned out to welcome them.
As they passed crowds of screaming fans in a limousine, the conversation turned to the group's plans after the tour. The others discussed the idea of a Spice Girls television series, which appeared more appealing than making a second film. Geri, however, was guided by her instincts, reminding them of their original 2-year plan. Her comment was met with silence, and the conversation soon moved on. Those thoughts resurfaced more clearly on the 3rd of March, as the group traveled by coach from Frankfurt airport ahead of their next concert in Germany. Having opened the tour in Dublin the previous month and continued on to Zurich, they were now moving deeper into the European leg. As rain streaked the coach windows, the discussion again turned to life after September. Mel B and Victoria spoke of taking a holiday, while Melanie C argued that any break would need to be brief in order to maintain momentum. In her memoir, Geri notes that provisional plans were being discussed to extend the world tour into Asia and Australia. The two Mels also spoke of solo projects, but there was no suggestion of a breakup. The intention was to continue as a group while allowing space for individual pursuits. Staring out at the rain, Geri finally said what she had been holding back. "I'm thinking about not continuing after September." Her comment was met with confusion and disbelief. Geri elaborated that September would be a fitting moment to stop, but while the others were unsettled, they appeared to dismiss it, assuming she was simply having an off day. Ending the group had never crossed their minds, and the idea that Geri might seriously consider it seemed inconceivable. Everything they had achieved had been done together as 5, each member playing a distinct and essential role. Until recently, Geri had remained a constant source of creative energy, contributing ideas for lyrics, costumes, and staging. Her bold image and exuberant personality had been central to the group's rise. From seizing demo tapes and key information when they left their original managers, to forcing open doors that had been closed to new acts, she, alongside Melanie B, was a formidable driving force. She also took a strong interest in the business side of the group, at times frustrating their former manager Simon Fuller by scrutinizing sponsorship deals. In her autobiography, she recalls urging Fuller to negotiate a higher fee from Pepsi ahead of a major global agreement. Many of her strengths were underused while on tour. After Fuller's dismissal in November 1997, she had assumed responsibility for sponsorship matters, but with the group focused on live performances and deliberately scaling back brand partnerships, her role in this area diminished significantly. One of the Spice Girls' final sponsorship launches was scheduled for the 9th of March in Milan, where the group were also due to perform that evening. Aprilia, an Italian motorcycle manufacturer, had partnered with the world's biggest girl group to release a range of Spice Girls branded scooters. The Sonic Spice campaign featured the Spice World era logo on brightly colored scooters and helmets, supported by a wave of promotional materials including postcards, stickers, and bags. A series of Aprilia events across the European leg of the tour required the group to pose with the branded bikes for press photographs. The agreement was designed to sponsor the tour itself, with advertisements appearing in the official tour souvenir program. That evening, as Geri sat in her dressing room at the Fila Forum di Assago, preparing to perform for thousands of Italian fans, she told the others that she had made a final decision. "I am definitely going to leave after Wembley Stadium in September," she said. Victoria asked why. "I've had enough. I just want to finish with a big finale at Wembley." After a long and uneasy silence, Melanie C remarked that it felt like a Robbie Williams moment. "Are you doing a Robbie on us?" she asked. In the Spice Girls, there was no indication, at least at that moment, that anyone wanted Geri to go. She reassured them that she remained fully committed until September, and outwardly the group carried on as normal. Beneath the surface, however, a rift was beginning to form, and Geri sensed that the others felt hurt and let down. Geri had long been the relentless driving force behind the group's rapid ascent, propelled by a bold attitude and a constant awareness that time was limited. Alongside Mel B, she had forced open industry doors and demanded opportunities to be taken seriously. As the oldest member, she had also spent more time reflecting on life and developing an understanding of the entertainment industry's volatility. Her path had been marked by persistence and variety, from glamour modeling and selling watches, to working as an assistant presenter on a Turkish television game show. While Emma had grown up in the industry, and Mel B had left home at 16 to work as a dancer in Blackpool, Geri's route to success had been defined by unpredictability, driven by an unapologetic yet focused pursuit of recognition and achievement. For Geri, the 2-year Masterplan, which had provided the group with focus and momentum toward the Wembley Stadium finale in September 1998, represented the complete Spice Girls story. By March of that year, it became clear that Geri and the other 4 members were operating under different assumptions about the future. Nothing had been formally agreed, and neither perspective was definitively right or wrong, but their instinctive expectations about life after September came as a shock to each other. This raises an obvious question: why had Geri's view of the group's future diverged so sharply from that of the others? Why did the idea of balancing solo projects alongside continued group activity hold little appeal for her? It largely comes down to interpretation. Autobiographies let public figures share their perspective, sometimes to justify decisions or seek understanding. Nothing in the Spice Girls' history, including Geri's account, suggests deliberate deception on important matters. Aside from early attempts to soften their manufactured origins and rapid rise, they were generally open. Where stories differ, the truth is often somewhere in between, and considering multiple perspectives leads to the most balanced, if not definitive, conclusion. In April, the group returned to Britain for a series of concerts. It was during this period that a photograph emerged of Geri appearing to cry on stage while performing Denying. As part of the choreography, she roller skated across the stage, an element of the performance that had been confined to a single area following concerns that her exuberance was distracting the others. What truly prompted her expression in the image remains unclear. It may have captured a fleeting physical moment, or it may have reflected something more emotional. Either way, speculation in the press about her well-being and the future of the band was rife. The UK leg of the tour took in Glasgow, Manchester, London's Wembley Arena, and Birmingham. At a press conference, the group announced the 4 major stadium shows at Wembley and Sheffield.
I decided to do Wembley Stadium! Yeah. That's it!
Tickets sold rapidly. These concerts were set to close the tour, following a 3-month American leg scheduled to begin in Miami on June 15. By this point, changes in Geri's appearance were becoming increasingly apparent. The blonde streaks and vibrant outfits that had come to define her image were gone. In their place were darker colors and a more subdued, natural ginger hair tone. It was her first significant image change since the group's launch in 1996. In her later autobiography, If Only, Geri would explain that her evolving style reflected a sense of growing older and a discomfort with the persona she had previously embodied. Melanie B. would later note in her 2002 autobiography, Catch a Fire, that Geri's weight fluctuated noticeably during this time, and that she had become quieter and more distant. A live television appearance on TFI Friday in early May appeared, at least on the surface, to contradict these concerns. Geri was affectionate with the group and characteristically energetic during her interview with hosts Chris Evans, whom she was clearly eager to impress. Shortly afterwards, she met with Evans privately to seek career advice. He would remain a significant influence in her life after she left the group.
Have you been reading a lot? You have, haven't you?
I do read a lot, actually, yeah. I'm reading a book at the moment, is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
What's that about then?
It's kind of, you can, if you just, you know, don't worry about anything, you can handle it.
However, subtle shifts in Geri's behavior were becoming harder to ignore. An article published in Top of the Pops magazine in July would later shed light on a revealing evening in late May. With a lengthy American tour approaching, the group agreed to pre-record television performances to promote their next single, Viva Forever. Although the song would not be released until July, filming on the 21st of May was considered an opportunity too important to decline. That evening, the group recorded 2 performances of Viva Forever, as well as a performance of the official World Cup single On Top of the World, a collaboration with Space, Echo and the Bunnymen, an ocean color scene. The magazine noted that the group kept an unusually low profile throughout the studio visit, remaining behind closed dressing room doors, holding serious meetings, restricting access to rehearsals, and politely declining a customary photo shoot. Briefly, they posed backstage in breast cancer charity t-shirts, images that would later take on added poignancy. But their guarded behavior surprised the production team. The article also drew attention to Geri's subdued demeanor and frequent absences. Earlier that day, she had given an interview to The Sun's Victoria Newton at the studio, addressing a teenage breast cancer scare that had recently resurfaced in the press and generated intense media attention. When the performances eventually aired, the contrast was striking. In one, Geri appeared energetic, dancing alongside Melanie C. In the other, she seemed detached, dressed in black, visibly withdrawn, and at one point failing to lip-sync. By the 12th of May, the group had returned to touring overseas, completing the European leg with dates in France, Austria, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and Norway. This would be followed by a 10-day break, a charity concert with Luciano Pavarotti in Modena on the 9th of June, and then the start of the American tour just days later. Before that, a brief promotional return to the UK was scheduled for the 27th of May. Viva Forever would be the final single released from the Spice World album, and its success was crucial. In the 1990s, television promotion was vital, and with their previous single Stop peaking at number 2, the group were determined to reclaim the top position. Promoting a release while on tour was never easy, but the return to London was seen as essential. National Lottery Live was among the most watched programs on British television, and a performance on it promised significant exposure. But events would take an unexpected turn.
Hi, we're the Spice Girls, and you're watching Helsinki!
Just 2 days before the planned lottery appearance, in this press conference in Helsinki on the 25th of May, Geri is noticeably quiet, leaving the vast majority of questions to be answered by the other 4. And soon, the world would find out why. The Spice Girls' 2-year master plan that Geri reminded the group about in Australia back in January would need to be completed with just 4 band members. Next time.
We landed and Geri got up and went, "I'm going to say bye, girls. Girls, I'm going to say bye now." And I thought, well, that's really weird.
Actually, Geri's not very well tonight, so get well soon, Geri.
An early exit.
Sadly, I would like to confirm that I have left the Spice Girls.
Emotions run high.
Oh, we're stronger than ever since Geri's left. We don't need her anymore.
And Ginger Spice is resurrected, sort of.
Hello, it's me, I'm back.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you're new, please hit subscribe on my channel. It's totally free and helps me to continue creating Spice Girls content for you to enjoy. Many thanks. Here's another video for you to enjoy, as well as a playlist to get stuck into. Until next time, stay spicy.